Okay, if you put up with me, I'm going to try this for the third time. You're live, it says. I'm going to try this 3 times. But I want to get this information to you. It's all about how to get grants from the IRS. I don't want you to miss it, and because I want to get it done soon, because tax time will be here in a couple of months, and you really want to get this ahead of time and do all this stuff, way before April, because that's when the crowds start, and you won't get a good seat at the show. So I want to make sure everybody gets a good seat at the show and could get this done. And I've tried this 6 times or whatever, and this is the 3rd or 4th time. But it looks like we're getting people, and I'm here. But boy, it is just, I don't know what happened. I'm doing the same thing this time as last time. And it started out okay last time, but then it just stopped. Smiley?
Yeah, let me check.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have the lady I live with check. That's no lady, that's my wife.
I think I got it, yeah.
Oh my goodness, she's got it. So that means we got it. By Jove, we've got it. So I said, maybe it's because I was standing up before. So that's why this time I'm going to sit down. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to do is explain to you how to, number one, not pay to have your taxes done. You don't have to pay to have your taxes done. That's old school. Yeah. Forget about that. And also, I want you to know about the grants the IRS gives to you. Everybody just, I better give money to the IRS, and they're so worried about going to jail and all that kind of stuff, and spending a lot of money on getting your taxes done because, they put the fear of God into you. If you don't do it right, you're going to get audited, and then if you get audited, you're going to go to jail for the rest of your life. Yeah, and that's just hucksters who have something to sell to you. And they sell by fear. I mean, the politicians do this. The insurance salesmen do this. Everybody does this. They fear. They sell things by fear to get your money because, I'll scrape up the money so I don't have to have fear in my life. And that's silly because it's unrealistic fear. Man, if you're worried about being audited and going to jail and all that kind of, you have a 100% better chance of being killed in an automobile accident. And we get in the car with no problem at all and go on. And actually now, it's less than like a 0.5% that's audited. I don't have the data, but the data is public information. You can get that anywhere by just going to the Public Affairs Office on the IRS and just put in Google IRS, number of people on it. The annual report of the IRS is wonderful. It tells you all that information you want to know, about the IRS. There's no fear. Here's another thing you get of the IRS. If you're worried about the getting an audit, you could get the manuals from the IRS themselves that the auditors have to follow when they come and audit you. That's right. You could get the manuals. So you see, it tells them how to knock on the door, how to say hello, everything they're going to look for. And, that's one chance out of 1,000,000 or something, or whatever it is that will happen to you. But if it does, see, that's public information. That's what's so great about the government. All this is public information. Okay, tax time's coming up. How do you get that taxes done? Okay, everybody knows about H&R Block and people like that. Man, you don't have to use them. They're going to charge you $100, $200, or whatever the heck they charge you. No, there's free help. Now, particularly if you're making less than like $60,000 a year, you get all the free help you want, and for getting one-on-one taxes done, just like H&R Block does, and they get the same training in H&R Block. Years ago I took courses from both H&R Block and the IRS because they have a free course, if you want to do taxes for free. They use the same book, but the H&R Block did is they took the IRS book and changed the cover, put H&R Blocks on an IRS book. But I used to do the same thing too. Actually, my first best-selling book was a book I copied from, I took from the government printing office, just cut and pasted it, and sent it to people in New York, a publisher, and they came out and published it. And I just plagiarized the whole thing from the government and made it a New York Times bestseller. So that's what H&R Block does. So I can't complain, but people ought to know. And that's it. I mean, like in the beginning of my book, I tell you where I got it from. And it became a New York Times bestseller, and I didn't write a lick. Okay, for you to get free tax help, okay, first thing to do, there's a couple places to start. First one I'm going to tell you to do is call your public library. Well, actually, they have a chat. Every public library has a chat with a librarian, and ask a librarian. And so you just Google like the name of your city and put library, public library after that, and you get the website. Get the website, look under contact. Every website has a contact information. Look at there, and they'll have the ask a librarian right there. And then, it's going to be, most likely a chat. And then you ask, okay, when are when are the people there that are going to do one-on-one, tax preparation? And they'll tell you. And if they don't have it there, most libraries have them. If they don't, they'll tell you who does in town. Okay, so that's the first place. Okay, your public library. Okay, the next place is 211.org. Now, I've told you about 211.org before, right? And this is a database for free stuff. It's sort of like Google for free. But Google is free, but all the people who want your money are there too. This is a place that everybody on it that you find is free. So these are free organizations that do free tax help. And you go into that website, first of all, you put Google and then your city or county. I mean, not Google, I'm sorry. You go to Google, put 211.org, then your county, and it'll come up, okay? Then you go to that website. It'll be a 211.org website for your county. And it's really the United Way, and you look on there, look for search. You can call, actually, which is great. You can just get on the phone and call them. And then, hey, I need free tax help. And they'll give you a dozen places or so that you can get free tax help. Or you could go online and do it. But sometimes it's a little confusing sometimes, the search, because it's... everyone's a little different. Even though it's a national database, they have it locally because all the programs are local. See, that's a problem with free stuff. It's local programs. It's not national. Maybe they're using national money, but they're local programs. So you got to go locally. That's why in the research I do for people, it's all about local. My custom stuff for buying a house or starting a business is really showing you the local programs because they're federal programs, but they're federal money dollars, but they go to local people that give it out. So you go to 211. Like I did it here for around the Baltimore area, and it's 30 organizations that you could go and get this for free. 30, wham! Who would have known? There's that many free people. I mean, and that's probably more offices than H&R Block has. Right? But H&R Block, man, at tax time, you see those suckers advertised on the back of buses or the back of toilet paper or anywhere. But these people don't have a nickel to advertise. That's why you'll never find them on Google, but you will on 211. Or just call and ask. Okay, that's another thing. Okay, now there's another group that the IRS gives a bunch of grants to, and they're called VITA, V-I-T-A. So if you Google now, again, see, Google's great if you know exactly what you're looking for. If you put in free tax help, you're screwed, man. All you're going to get, 99% of the people want your money. You'll never find VITA. Okay, but if you now Google free tax preparation VITA, V-I-T-A, IRS, put that with it, because all the websites you want to look at are just .gov, G-O-V, or .org, O-R-G, which is nonprofit organizations. You don't want to screw around with any other website. They're the websites you want, okay? Anybody else is going to cost you money. And I'm here to show you how not to spend money. There's alternatives to that. And that's what I'm showing. But these people get grants, every year. And listen to this, 12,000, organizations that do this. This is like 3 per county. I think there's like 3,000 counties in America. So there's 12,000 of these things. So they're all over. And so that's another place. So that's why. So now we have the public library. Okay, you call them, you figure out how, you Google public library in your city. Okay. and you'll find them. You 211.org, and you put 211.org and your city, and you'll find them. And then VITA. Now you put VITA and IRS, and you'll find them. Okay. Now here's another thing. What people don't realize, you can get free legal help to fight the IRS with lawyers. You don't have to hire some attorney at $300 an hour, whatever they charge now. No, the government gives grants to lawyers. These are law schools with professors and senior students to go and fight the IRS for you. So if you have a bigger problem that you need lawyer help for, this is where to go. And for people with lower income, I mean, you can't be a millionaire and use this stuff. It's called low income taxpayer clinics. So these are resources I think are so important because eliminate your fear. Oh, I can never hire a lawyer, so I don't know what to do. I'm screwed if this happens to me. No, you're not. You're not screwed if you know the sources. See, but these people don't advertise, so you don't know where they are, and all you know is the people advertising. You think you're screwed because you don't have a lot of money to hire a lawyer. But see, you don't need to, because the grants are given to these lawyers to help you for free. So here you go Google low income taxpayer clinics IRS. Make sure you get IRS because the website you want should have a .gov on it, and that's irs.gov. So you want to make sure that you get the right website, not somebody's going to charge an arm and a leg for this. Okay, so that's how to get free legal help. Now, here's another free service that they have at the IRS that's all over the country. It's called face-to-face virtual services. This is a new service. So that means these are like kiosks all over. So it's like, and you talk to a tax expert, for free, like on Skype and stuff like that. And it's wonderful. I mean, gosh, and it's brand new. So find out your local office. If you Google IRS free face-to-face virtual personal assistance, IRS free face-to-face virtual personal assistance, and you'll find the one near you. And that's the way. See, you're not helpless on finding the best information in the world. That's all. Go to the horse's mouth. If you ask an accountant, these questions, or a high-priced lawyer, I mean, you can ask 5 and you'll get 5 different answers. So that's why go to the horse's mouth. And so that means 4 of them are wrong. Maybe the IRS is wrong, but it doesn't matter. See, what the IRS does, if you could call the IRS, you call the IRS, 800-829-4477. 800-829-4477. And I call that all the time to get my answers. And I have a video of one I did on YouTube of me calling up, say, how do you write off your house as a business expense? When I don't even have an incorporated business, just as a personal item, because I do some work at home for this little side business I have. They told me step by step over the phone how to do it. And if they're wrong, doesn't matter. You take their name. You take their name anyway. Because if you get audited 10 years from now or whatever the heck it is, that's past the statute of limitations, but I think it's 5 or 7 or something like that. And then you have the name and it doesn't matter. You won't be charged any extra, for that. They want people that are trying to screw them, and you're not, That's why, I mean, I've been audited for like 10 years or whatever. You just have to be reasonable. That's what it's about, and most of us are. The people trying to really hide stuff, and they're the ones that they're after more than anything else. And, you shouldn't live with that fear. We got enough to worry about. Whatever. So, okay, that's the telephone. Okay, free telephone help for anybody. Okay, now, here's the neatest thing, too, is your personal IRS enforcer. Okay, if you have a problem with the IRS, you Google this, Taxpayer Advocate Service, IRS. And then look for the .gov, and they'll take you to an IRS site that gives you your local taxpayer advocate service. That's a local person who gets paid by the government to fight the IRS for you. When the IRS screws up, they're bureaucrats. They're going to screw up. I screw up every day, man. You should see. The older I get, man, I make up more problems for myself and everybody else. It's just bureaucratic screw ups I do. I think they're Alzheimer's or whatever it is. Yeah, just forgetfulness doing stuff. But that's how these people will fight for you. Any problem. Or you got to make a deal with the IRS, these people make a deal with you. See, and most of the people that are charging you money, unless they have a congressman they're paying off, are going to the same places to get a deal for you. So why don't you do it? And they're going to charge you money, so it's going to cost you money. I mean, that's what people on the student loans do, the same thing. They're saying, oh, we'll cut your student loans. They're going to the same office, and I called these people. They're going to the same office that you could call at the Department of Education that will reduce your loans for you and show you the programs that you don't even have to pay, or pay $5 a month for 20 years and just forget the rest, But, we just... but they don't advertise, so you don't know about these free ones. But these other hucksters are advertising their butt off, and because they know they could get a couple $100 from you, and that's worth it for them to do that. So that's why you have to know your alternatives in life. Okay, here's another grant from the IRS. It's called award money. It's whistleblower award money. So you turn in tax sheets and you get 15 to 30% of the money they get. Wow. And I looked up GAO. GAO is an interesting office that you should be aware of that the government has. These are like the auditors of the government. They audit all the offices and everything, and they ground out all these reports on who's naughty and nice and things like that. And they did one on the whistleblower reward money. And that's why to find that, you do a whistleblower program, IRS whistleblower program, and you'll find an informant award. That's what you are. You're a squealer. An informant reward money. But squealers make an average of $636,000 a person. $636,000 for squealing on a tax sheet. Man, that's amazing. The IRS is making a ton of dough. Actually, in the last couple of years, they got 500 people they gave money to, and they split up $318 million. But those 500 people brought in almost $2 billion of income to the government. See, I mean, to me, tax sheets are just screwing the rest of us. They're not screwing the IRS. The rest of us have to pay the money. So of the $2 billion, what they did is give out $300 million to the people who turned them in, and the rest went in the treasury that the rest of us don't have to pay taxes for. So that's pretty cool. So it's not all bad. But now here's the pièce de résistance about grants from the IRS. And that's the earned income tax credit. And if you're making less than like $55,000 a year, you may be eligible for this. And actually, the IRS data themselves this year, just a couple hours ago, I checked their website. Their website says 1 out of 5 people who are eligible for it aren't applying. Okay, then I looked up how many people applied for the earned income tax credit. Okay, last year, 26 million people applied. And actually, that's down. But we'll talk about that in a little minute. So 26 million people. So 1 out of 5 people, that's like 6 million people are eligible and have not applied for this. Wow. Isn't that incredible? It is to me. All these people, and this is lower income people. This is, I mean, if it was a tax for writing off your house, every fat cat will have it, and they'll make sure they get it. See, this is a way to get money instead of having it welfare money or something, the lower income money that people, it's through the tax system. And really, it's an ingenious way to get money to people who need it because it doesn't set up a new program. A bureaucrat's running it. It just comes through the tax. You got to follow that anyway. Okay, we'll send you a check and it's over. We don't have anybody, managing the system and interviewing people and all this kind of stuff. So it's a very efficient way to get money to low-income people. That's why they talk about this guaranteed income. That's another efficient way. I mean, we give, actually, the average family gets $21,000 a year from the government. but in all kinds of programs. So if we just had one thing like this, boom, you make this money, okay, you get this check. And you get rid of all these bureaucrats, counting these beans and all these other programs. So it's a pretty neat way. But wow, I mean, this is a lot of money. How do you find that? Okay, what you do is you earned income tax credit. Just put in Google how to file earned income tax credit, okay? And make sure it's IRS. You want IRS because other people, you're going to get sucked in. Make sure it's .gov, .org. Otherwise, some smooth-talking son of a gun like me is going to sucker you in to giving them money, And you don't want to get it. You want to learn how to make yourself strong. And that's why how to be resilient in this country, I think, is not giving money to other people to fight your wars for you. Is figuring out yourself. I mean, this is like mercenaries. That's what mercenaries are. They fight somebody else's war, and most mercenaries lose because the people fighting for their lives and their country and their loved ones and things like that will fight harder than somebody just doing it for the money. That's why you're going to get more out of all this stuff than hiring somebody to do it. Sure, you can. And I'm not going to put those people out of business. I don't worry about them. But I want you to know the option. Sure, you have a lot of money and don't know. You'd rather go skiing. Fine, whatever. But look at this. We have 6 million people who are eligible for this. And they'll keep handing out that money as long as people show up. It's not a zero-sum game. They only have X dollars. No, this is for as long as people are there. So if we have a crash, then there will have more people. But look, we had a crash and less people are doing it. This is what people don't know. How do we educate them? We got to do that. And listen, here, like the medium income. Now, that's not average. Medium is like the person in the middle. The average means the rich person. If you have Bill Gates in your number you're counting, then the average is going to be on the high side. Medium is the person right in the middle. Okay, so the medium, because if you do the average, richer people are getting richer, and that screws up the average. But if you tell the medium, that's what the person in the middle of 11 people, that's number 6, what that person's making. Okay, in 1996, the family that's in the middle of all the income made $57,909. 57,000. That's almost 58,000. Okay, so they made 58,000 in 1999. Okay, fast forward to 2015, 56,500. So it went down from 58,000 to 56,500. So that means the middle person and everybody below and probably a little bit above are making less and less now than they were 25 years ago. Boy, that sounds un-American to me. I don't know about you. But more importantly, why isn't this number going up? Gosh. See, the IRS has not a penny in advertising to let, just think if they, fill your taxes and get free money. I'll do the ad for them. I'll do an infomercial for them because that's a real deal. And it's there. 6 million people right away. Any business that has 6 million people, man, that's a hell of a business. And the average person gets about $2,500. And now listen to this. You could go back 3 years. So this year and the 3 years earlier, man, so you get like $20,000 or more. A lot of people could use that. And that's what's needed. And that's the power of information and the power of stuff that you don't know about, or the power you don't know about because of marketing. And that's the problem to me with Google. What it teaches you is the stuff that people are selling, not the stuff that's really good for you and people aren't selling. So that's what I'm trying to do, is educate people about that. I'll do these seminars. I'll keep doing them. Let me know what I should cover. I see somebody want to talk about, I think, SBA loans. I'll tell you all about them too, and how you don't have to hire an accountant, attorney, or lawyer to get that. I'll show you how to get the best SBA loan offer ever, and even better ones than that. In another segment. But let me know here on Facebook. My website is Lesko, Lesko Tutor, TUTOR.com. There, I download, I have video ebooks you can download. They're everything. I'll do one on this subject. So if you want all the literature and the websites and everything, I'll have that there. And I just charge a couple dollars for a lot of these things. They're nothing, just to keep me doing things. But there's other things. Researching tips on the best ways to find things on Google. That's what we have to start learning. Just not pretend Google is the end all and be all, because it tain't. And then also I do custom research too. So because most of this stuff, as you see, like in the IRS, a lot of this stuff is local stuff. So even though the IRS is supporting it, or the federal government supporting it, it's local organizations. So you'll never find those organizations by going a national search. You have to know where locally. So that's what I do, is that kind of research. So if you want to buy a house, fix up a house, be a real estate, investor, that's the word, a flipper, a house flipper, or start a business or a nonprofit, or just pay bills. And that's what I do, is find the stuff near you that's really good, and that's a really important stuff. And then also about the gig economy and crowdfunding and peer-to-peer. I'm going to do a lot of segments on that. You look how this is growing. I don't know if you heard recently, Trump is talking about all the jobs he's creating already, like Carrier, air conditioning, he got like 500 jobs, and one of the automobile companies, he said he got saved 1,000 jobs, but actually the automobile company said they were going to do it anyway, but he's taking credit for them. And the big one, he met with the guy named Ma, M-A, and he's the guy who owns Alibaba. And Alibaba met with him, and he said he'll bring 1 million jobs to the country, to the USA. So Trump is bragging he's bringing 1 million jobs, from China here. And actually, it's not like traditional jobs. These are gig jobs. These are jobs where you could make income from by selling your product or service on Alibaba. Alibaba is like, if you don't know, it's like Amazon. So like you could sell books, you could sell anything on Amazon, right? And it costs you nothing. Well, now you could do, Alibaba's going to be able to do that. But you got to know what the hell Chinese people buy. So they don't buy a lot of stuff here. They probably don't buy my books unless they're going to immigrate here. Yeah. So if stuff they buy, and they can buy goods cheaper there than anything we could probably make. So that's out too. I'm not really sure what they're going to sell to the Chinese, but what the hell? We'll figure it out as they become richer. Yeah, that's why more people are moving manufacturing back from China here, because they're getting richer, and labor is being more expensive and stuff like that. So they're the kind of job. But see, the gig economy where it's growing, and that's where jobs here are growing too, in the gig economy. And that's why I'm keeping track of that, and I'll have seminars on that. And I got ebooks out there now, like how to do crowdfunding and peer-to-peer loans instead of using these overpriced banks. Okay. Well, I think I finally did this. This is the third time I did this today, and I did one as a backup on another video. So I'm getting really good at this. So if you want to call me to speak to your group, I got this down. Just let me know. Yeah, you get 5 people to get 2. I'll speak. I don't charge.